Welcome. You're listening to Sports Econ 101, the show where we discuss sports topics from a business perspective. I'm your host, Edward Brown, along with my co-hosts, Russell Jackman and Mike McDowd. Our phone number is 88. Actually, you know what? We just, with the trivia questions, we just do Edward at sportsecon101.com. We're going to ask him some sports questions at
I have a trivia question for this week.
You do? Okay.
Yes.
Well, I got a couple, but and today's trivia theme is baseball, since we just started baseball season. I know, Russell. You're really into the basketball.
Yeah, and I have one more NBA trivia question for this week.
Well, we'll let you share that one. In fact,
you got March Madness, guys. Come on.
Yeah,
March
of course. Yeah.
Okay. Just saying.
And I got to say, I think this is the first year that I've really gotten into the women's basketball. Really, seriously, I mean, they, no offense to them, but before it just wasn't that exciting to me. And this year it's been really good because the women have been playing like so well. And it's so much fun to watch. I mean, what did they score? Like 94 points in last night's game. Caitlin Clark, she looked like Steph Curry. Let's see, Brock Purdy finally got a raise. And not quite as much as you'd think, but I guess there's certain rules with how much they're allowed to get paid for their, second year, right? And Devin Booker matched Wilt Chamberlain with a 50-plus point game in 3 straight performances against the same opponent. That's pretty good company. Just they're the only 2 people who have ever done that. So we'll talk also, obviously, about men's March Madness and women's March Madness. Let's see, Russell, before we go to our break, why don't you ask us the trivia question, then we come back, we'll answer it.
Okay, trivia question is, Wembanyama this year, who is a lockdown rookie of the year, if ever there was one, is leading all rookies in points, rebounds, blocks, and steals. Who is the last rookie to? There's only one other rookie that's accomplished that. Who is?
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Stay with us. Sports Econ 101. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. Edward Brown, along with Mike McDowd and Russell Jackman. All right, Russell, you had a trivia question for us for fun. What is it? Go ahead.
And that is, right now, Wembanyama leads all rookies in points, rebounds, blocks, and steals. There's only been one other rookie who has done that in the history of the NBA. Who is that?
Can you give us the year?
I'm trying to think.
Roughly?
I think it was 1998. But that was, I'll say late 90s. It was in the late 90s.
Well, let's see. You know what? How about Kevin Garnett?
That's a really good guess, but incorrect. It was the one that I thought.
Wow.
You can't say like Wilt Chamberlain or Wes.
Well, no, because you said 1998. He's a center, right? He is a center.
Yes,
he's a center. And do we think of him as a center?
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Okay. I was gonna say, would that be with Shaq?
No.
Yeah, because he was before that. Mike, what do you think?
Trying to guess?
I'm just gonna sound like an idiot and throw some name out there. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I just say I don't know.
Tim Duncan.
Oh, you're very close now.
Was it David Robinson?
Yeah, David Robinson.
Really?
Yes.
I thought he played before then, but okay.
He played before that. I'm almost positive.
Okay, well, I was trying. I said in the 90s. He played in the late 90s.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that kind of threw me off. That's okay.
Last NBA player from the Naval Academy, too, by the way.
And tremendous piano player. Did you ever see the clip that I sent you of David Robinson playing?
I finally did. Yeah, he's quite accomplished. Kind of reminds me of the old Rosie Greer being, from the 60s, being such a good player. Yeah.
Quickly on the Admiral, just food for thought, just because people don't get to hear these stories. I interviewed him after a Warriors game one time, and I got to tell you, one of the nicest guys I ever met. Just so cordial, class act. I mean, you just love when you meet these types of guys. We'll have to get into the list of who is the biggest jackasses I've ever interviewed, too. You'll love that one.
Well, that's funny.
That's a good story.
Our one of our old co-host Bruce McGowan went through his list, and he would talk about his the old crotchety guys who would give him interviews.
That was a real jerk, Tom
Yeah.
Chambers. Tom
Which one?
Chambers.
I'll
Tom
tell you who was
Chambers.
the jerk. Who was the jerk to me? Olden Polynice. Do you remember Olden Polynice at all?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, he really big timed it and acted like he was a big deal when I talked to him when he was on the Kings, the Sacramento Kings.
Wasn't he with the Clippers too?
Yeah, he was and he also pretended to be a sheriff that one time and pulled somebody over and flashed a fake badge. And,
I heard
I
about
love that. Only in America.
Yeah.
Only Olden Polynice. Let's just put it that way.
I don't even remember that name. That's kind of
Yeah,
I do. Yeah. He was a decent player,
but a weird guy.
Weird guy. Okay,
Oh,
let's start off with the March Madness. Okay, so as of today's writing, if I'm understanding, we've got for the men's Final Four, UConn, NC State, Purdue, and Alabama, right?
Right. Yes.
I'm right.
Yes.
Okay. What do you think, guys? UConn?
I
They
love
still get-
Zach Edey from Purdue.
the big
like
guy?
one of those players that you're going to remember as a pro. You're going to say, "Wow!" And he was amazing in college too. I think he's the best player right now in the tournament. That's
how tall is he? Like he's 7 foot?
7'4".
7'4"?
He's 7'4", 7'5".
like Andre the Giant size. Yeah, he's huge. He is got skills, and he could take that team as far as he wants. I don't know if there's an answer in the Final Four for a guy like Zach Edey. What do you guys think?
Well, listen, one thing about that player is not only can, certainly he can go inside, but on the outside game, he can pass, he can distribute. So they try to double team him and he can, dish the rock off.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you got to look at Connecticut. Their bigs are more athletic than him. And I'm sorry, but when you go on a 30-2 run in the second half, you're, they are the hottest team in basketball. And I also love NC State, man. The way they're playing, the way they beat Duke, I think they're the Cinderella team. But clearly the Huskies are the team to beat. And I don't think any of you guys can tell me they're not.
No, I agree. And they won it last year, too, didn't they? That's right. They beat San Diego.
I like that guy DJ from NC State. The guy's like the new Fridge. He's
They were talking about him going to play potentially to play in the NFL, but it's like, just because you're 275 pounds and was he 6'9" or something like that? I mean, just because you're big doesn't mean you're going to do well in pro football.
Move. He can. The thing is, he can really move.
Yeah.
He can get on the fly. You can see him. He's got dexterity. He's got a coordination. He's not just a big guy. I mean, he moves like a small forward in a lot of ways.
Well, you see, I read something. He said like the last time he played basketball was in middle school, or football was in middle school. So again, it'll have to be a full training. That's if he wants. Obviously, if he wants it, I think he still wants to try for the NBA if he can.
Yeah, I think there's a number of NBA teams that could use somebody that was that physical, that big, that has those kind of skills. I think there's a lot of teams that could.
Kind of reminds me of Big Baby. Remember him?
Yes, but Big Baby wasn't that physical.
That's right.
He wasn't that physical,
NC State, an 11th seed, going into the tournament the first time since I think Jim Valvano.
Yeah.
And Bravo, I know this wonderful show goes coast to coast, border to border, worldwide audience. But, gentlemen, we do most of us reside on the West Coast. Let's hear it for West Coast basketball. Alive and well. It's beautiful. The Aztecs look great. The Bruins. I mean, I'm so happy with West Coast basketball. It's brilliant. I'm being facetious. I hope you guys know that.
I was going to say that I'm looking and I'm going, when's the last
Why
time
are we continuing to get our tails kicked every tournament?
USC,
When's the last time we won an NCAA tournament? Was it Arizona? Is that it? Back in 97 or?
That
Probably.
might be.
Well,
Yeah.
it's because the weather's so good, people are out there just,
I mean, Stanford had a couple
playing
of good
tennis
years.
and and
Stanford had a
hiking.
couple of good years when they had,
Oh, you
the Lopez twins.
Yeah, but they never won a tournament.
No,
What
no.
the whole? I'm only going to spend 5 seconds on this, but I'm getting so sick and tired of going around into the country and people just laughing at us, going, "You guys can do nothing right anymore." Well, yeah, tell me about it. So
I guess
I
the
don't know.
Warriors won 4 NBA championships of recent
Well,
merit.
Well,
yeah, I
that's the
know.
pros, but
49ers
I
just
think you're
in the
thinking
Super
college,
Bowl.
though, aren't you? You're thinking, Mike, you're thinking college.
College ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, not pros, not the pros.
And that's the thing is that you can insult college sports, and the average Californian is just going to shrug their shoulders and go, "We don't care." It doesn't hurt them. In other areas of the country, if you say, "Oh, Alabama sucks," you'll get into a fist
Yeah.
fight, and the whole
Or
bar will
Oklahoma.
jump on top of you. But here, if you say Stanford sucks, people go, "Okay, fine."
Yeah. Yeah.
So what?
Or Cal.
You know,
Yeah. No, that's true. That's absolutely right.
and
I mean,
as I said, California has had such a good run as far as being in professional sports, with the Warriors, with the 49ers. The Giants won 3 World Series. It's the people in California affix themselves more towards the pro side of things than they do.
Okay.
And there's a lot of people that are from out of state that go to the
yeah, exactly.
We're a lot of commuter schools here.
Hey, Russell, stay on that line for
Okay.
Okay. Here's our first regular trivia question in baseball is what we're talking here. What batting average is the quote Mendoza line?
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay, all right.
That's
All
one
right.
I know.
You know that one. Okay.
Oh, yes.
Email Edward Sports Econ 101 the answer to that question. All right. What batting average is the Mendoza line? All right. Stay with us. You're listening to Sports Econ 101. Don't touch that dial. We're going to be right back.
That's cute.
I heard that a long time ago.
Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. Edward Brown, Mike McDowd, and Russell Jackman here. Okay, guys, what is the average? What is the batting average? What batting average is considered the Mendoza line?
Manny Mendoza, yes, one of the great nobodies of baseball, except for known for the Mendoza line, which is 0.1999999999999.
That's pretty close. Yes, 200.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you're back below that, you are below the Mendoza line. It's the line between 0.19999 and 0.20, which again was such a laughable thing we laughed at then. Now a lot of hitters, even good ones, are batting 220, 230. Batting average, quote unquote, doesn't matter anymore. What do you guys think of that?
Yeah, what was it just because of like how many home runs you can hit? The long ball?
Yeah, chicks dig the long ball. That's what they say. You'd rather have a guy batting 215 but hitting 35 home runs.
Yeah, how many RBIs does he have?
Right? That all depends on the guy in front of him.
Yeah, exactly.
But usually, you have a guy with 35 home runs and 45 RBIs at the end of the year.
So what's he in there for? Does defense?
And just out there to hit a home run. When he gets
but that doesn't. Yeah, I mean, I guess you have to look at what do they call it, the whip or the
WAR.
WAR. There you go. It's the
WAR average. Yeah. But that's how a lot of people play baseball when you talk about analytical baseball. But with Bruce Bochy coming back and winning a World Series after being on the shelf for a couple of years, I think baseball by intuition is coming back into fashion. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I mean Texas coming. That was for them to win their first World Series. Yeah. I don't know. What do you think, Mike?
I mean, arguably, Bruce Bochy. I don't think there's a better manager out there.
There is.
I mean, he's Hall of Fame. Look who's doing with the Giants, and he did a pretty good job with the Padres before the Giants, by the way.
Yeah, that's right.
He really did.
True.
He really did. And then he goes and takes over San Francisco, and now he leads a World Series with Texas. I love the guy. First of all, he's a gamer, as you like to say. He's just a great
Yeah.
human being. You ever hear him
Yeah.
just, talk? He's
Yep.
great.
And he was a decent catcher, wasn't he? A catcher?
Oh yeah, he's a good ball player.
Yeah,
he's a good ball player.
And that's why he and
I think he's great for baseball.
Yeah, good for baseball. Go ahead, Russell. What was that?
Bochy being a catcher is what made him and Buster Posey get along so well. Those two just really, communicating. They're really, with the DFAing of Joey Bart this week, they put him on waivers. That ends that sad experiment with Joey Bart as the number 1 overall draft pick for the Giants organization about 7 years ago, when they drafted him to be the next Buster Posey, and he has absolutely crashed and burned and become Mac Williamson 2.0. But I'm not sure people can relate to that if they're across the country. You'd have to be a pretty hardcore Giants fan to remember Mac Williamson.
Oh, Matty Williams?
Mac Williamson.
Mac Williamson. I don't even remember him.
Yeah, he
was in the Bay Area.
He's a guy that was happier being a minor league player than being a pro. And I think there are some players that are just more comfortable in the minor leagues. They're meant to be minor league players for their entire life. They're not meant to be
on the big stage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, national show. You got to love what the Yankees are doing. You got to love what the Pirates are doing, both 5-0 in the standings already. But the other team that's really making noise around the country is a beloved team from the San Francisco Bay Area called the minor league Oakland A's. Did you guys see what they did Monday night? Where they
apparently
five errors in 3 innings?
Wait, go ahead, Mike. What's that, Mike?
Yeah, they committed 5 errors in 3 innings in the 9-0 loss to Boston. They became the first team in 29 years with 13 fielding miscues in the first 5 games of the season. What does that tell you about the A's?
Wow. Well, I wasn't one of the 500 people that was watching that game, so thank you for informing me.
Hey, you know what, man? I got to say this, and I'm just going to, you guys can go with this how you want, and I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm actually a pretty nice guy. I think Edward might admit
we'll be the judge of that.
We'll be the judge of that.
But
go ahead, Mike.
I got a phone call. I got 2 phone calls, one from a Hall of Famer, Sports Hall of Famer, American National Sports Hall of Famer, and another guy also in another Hall of Fame. And he commented about the new Oakland A's announcing crew. And it's bad. I mean, it's bad. And I'm sorry. It says they've hired a wonderful female sports announcer, and I want to give her credit. She is a well-established sports announcer with a lot of. She's won awards. She's fine in that department, but the actual play-by-play doesn't translate. What I'm saying is she's had 1 spring training game under her belt with the Rockies and a few fill-in games with the Rockies, and that's it. What the point is, there are guys who have spent decades in the minor leagues who are fabulous, who never get the shot. But the direction of sports broadcasting is unbelievable. And this Hall of Fame guy who called me out of the way said, he goes, "I'm speechless." And it's not because she's a woman. She's just not. She doesn't have the background. She doesn't have that experience. The artistry of play-by-play is truly an art form. I don't know if you guys have heard it, but it's getting to be really quite a vocal point of conversation out there, and not just with the baseball, but some of these basketball play-by-play people. And I don't care if you're a man or a woman, you have to be good. This is the major leagues.
Well, baseball is probably the easiest of all of them to do play-by-play because you have a little bit of time in between. Pitches, stuff like that. But basketball's tough, hockey's tough, and
the A's owners are so damn cheap. Don't be surprised if they don't try to do AI-based announcing soon.
Good point.
Oh, wow.
To get Chat GPT to announce one of their games. I wouldn't
put
it
how
beyond.
How does that work if it's a live game?
I'm being totally
okay.
kidding with you guys. but I wouldn't put it past the A's ownership to be so cheap as to have CompU 2000 be the announcer of the A's broadcast, and it'll be
Yeah, it's funny.
literally.
I actually thought I'd be pretty good at play-by-play. One time I got to do the what do they call it? The color commentator.
Yeah.
So I was like the Mike Krukow instead of.
Oh, I love color commentary, but I don't think there's anything harder in the world than doing play-by-play.
Well, it's funny for me. It was the opposite, but mostly because this was minor league baseball, and I didn't know any of the players. And all I could, there really was nothing. I could talk about stories about pro baseball and stuff, but there was not. I mean, if you don't know the players, it was a very challenging time for me to do it. I stunk. I couldn't believe how bad I was at the color commentating, because it's like if you don't know the players and and the guys doing the play by play,
you
what do
have
you
to
do?
have banter with the person that you're working with. You have to. If you're the play-by-play guy, you have to be able to play off
he
of the
didn't have much of a
play-by-play.
sense of humor. He was actually very
That's the
good.
problem. That's
Yeah,
the problem.
he was very good at play by play, but he was not. He again. I mean, we got along okay, but
I can tell you this: wrestling color commentary is some of the most fun you can possibly have. As
I can imagine.
That is some of the most fun that I've ever had in my lifetime with my friend JJ, who is the perfect play-by-play guy. So he was like perfect in his position as a wrestling play-by-play guy, and I was perfect position to be wrestling color commentary. And the two of us knew each other well, and we could just totally have inside jokes that we play off of each other.
Well, that's the thing is you have the experience, the sport, the players and all, the wrestlers, but also wouldn't play by play be easier for wrestling because theoretically there's only two people?
First of all, you have managers and tag teams and battle
royale.
Yeah,
if you have that, sure.
And Royal Rumbles, and you do have, and then there's a lot of action that goes on during the ring.
True.
Then, you have a lot of craziness that happens. So
you got to
know
all the moves. A suplex.
You don't have the timeouts. You don't have the
true. That's true.
Commercials that you do, and so that does create a challenge. But anyway,
who's the all-time greatest play-by-play guy in your opinions? Do you have top two
for baseball?
Top any sport.
Any sport. Ooh, wow. I like was it Greg Papa?
Pat Summerall. I'll throw Pat Summerall in there. I loved him, and I loved him.
It's too boring.
When he was with someone
Madden?
as great as Madden, the two of them were absolutely a perfect couple. Those two guys were the rhythm that the two of them would get in the game, I thought was fantastic. So
gotcha. Hey, okay, guys, wait, you ready for our second trivia question on baseball? All right, here we go. Who was the youngest player to win an MVP? And I think he's still the youngest, but let's because I don't know how old this question is, but let's say you can't count the last 10 years. Okay, let's make that. So there may have been somebody younger in the last 10 years. You have to go back further than that. Okay, so prior to the year 2014, who was the youngest player to win an MVP? All right, hold on. Stay with us. Sports Econ 101. We'll be right back. Mike's bursting at the seams. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. One more time, I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Mike McDowd and Russell Jackman. Here's our second trivia question prior to 2014. And I don't know, I got to say, I don't know if this would still carry on past that, but I know that this question's at least a 10-year-old question. Who was the youngest player to win an MVP?
Does he herald from Las Vegas, Nevada?
Who?
Does he come from the metropolis of Las Vegas, Nevada?
I don't know. I don't know where he's from.
I could be way wrong. Is it? Nah. Oh shoot! You know, my immediately came to my brain was Bryce Harper.
That's
that would that's why I said you got to go back. Now I don't remember. Yeah,
I don't think he was in the bigs yet, was he?
How old he was? I don't even know if Bryce would have beaten this young man.
Really?
Okay, now, here's
Jeff Bagwell.
No, you got to go before him, and Russell. You met him when we did the golf tournament.
Oh, Vita Blue?
Yes.
But
Vita Blue
Wow.
was
Okay,
Vita
I
was
did
the
not.
youngest
And
player
dear
to win an
departed
MVP.
Vita, one of the great people on the
Yeah.
planet. He was one of the of all the sports interviews I've done. I look
Yeah.
back on my interview with Vita Blue, the two that we did with Vita,
Yeah.
as just exceptional. You couldn't talk with Vita Blue without leaving having a smile across
Yeah,
your face.
exactly.
And the guy had stories pouring out of his pockets. You know, he had stories about Hall of Famers just oozing out of every pore of his body.
Yeah.
Love the guy. Just love the guy.
He was great. Go ahead, Mike.
quick thing on Vita. I met him at a was a Coppola winery for a benefit up in Napa, and he kind of gets it. He goes, "Hey, how you doing, Vita? You know, Mr. Blue." He goes, "Hey, man, I know who you are." He's saying that to me. I'm like, "What are you talking
Wow.
about?" Well, I know who you are. He goes, "Yeah, I've seen your face billboards." I'm like, "What?" My jaw dropped.
You're not talking the post office now, right?
No. I was, my TV station did a promotion. We were on these stinking billboards, and to have Vita Blue say, "I know who you are," come on.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's said that. Okay. I mean,
It's like when he was 19, 20 years old, he had that scowl on his face, and then suddenly, he's 70-something years old, nicest guy.
He was so gregarious, so nice, and I just, God bless him. What a wonderful man and baseball player. Died way too young. I mean, just passed away a couple years ago.
Yeah,
no, less than that. I think last year. I think in 2023.
Last year, and it was because of COVID. I think it was COVID.
Not sure. I'm not sure why, but yeah, he was he was 70 something. But yeah, we still. 77, is it? Huh?
Yeah, that's about right. He was young.
I tell you, it was so fun interviewing him and Joe Morgan at the same time on our show, because we to reminisce about the 72 World Series and how but boy, Joe Morgan, man, that just still stayed in his craw.
And he also did a great interview that we had with him and Dave Stewart.
Yeah.
Remember, a couple of years ago, he was on the show with us with Dave Stewart, and that was tremendous. I mean, Dave Stewart was a tremendous interview also, but just, again, the memories of what those two guys have, is just, we were very lucky to be blessed by both of their presences. And I'm with you. Vita Blue is much missed. And even though he didn't know who I was, he treated me with all sorts of things.
He would treat everyone very, very well. Okay, guys, getting back here for just a minute. So I don't know if you saw the Iowa LSU game, women's March Madness, but Caitlin Clark dropped like 41 points. She was, I don't know, like 50% from the 3-point line. I mean, she was just, she looked exactly like Steph Curry. Catch and shoot, and shrug off a player and shoot these threes, and they were deep threes. But the funny thing is that she's got to learn the inside game, because it seemed like she really couldn't do much on the inside. And I mean, she's still probably, if she wants to, I'm sure she'll get picked for the WNBA. But go ahead.
You mean as far as like dribble penetration? It's not just shooting the rock. She's
got she didn't have that. She was pretty good on defense, and stealing and all that. But for some reason, just she gets into the paint and just can't really do anything. She's a little wiry. She's not one of these really big, husky girls. So maybe that's it. But yeah, it was pretty amazing.
You guys think this is set up? I mean, let's face it, Caitlin Clark has to be in the Final Four. This is I thought about that this morning. I wonder if this is a setup. I mean, she played, because she's the biggest name in college women's sports, and I don't know, decades. I can't remember anything really too much bigger than this gal.
Brittany Griner, she was.
That's a whole nother story.
Yeah, but I mean, she was big center for LSU and all that, but.
Wasn't she the gal that got busted in Russia?
I mean, for college. Not forget the thing in Russia. I'm talking about when she. Right. Yeah, no. She was Baylor. No, she played for Baylor, I think. And she was just. I mean, she was a powerhouse. Good.
Hey, equally as important. I got to say this, and you can spend as much time as you want on this, but kudos to the Iowa Hawkeyes. I salute them.
Yeah.
I'm going to use this word. God bless them. They stayed on the court during the national anthem. Meanwhile, the LSU Tigers walked off the court. I
Did
don't
they?
have
I
time
didn't
for
know
that.
that.
Yep.
I didn't see that
Yep.
part. I guess I fast forwarded until I got to the actual
Really,
game.
it just,
Really?
I don't get it,
I
man.
just I don't get that because we're all Americans.
I mean,
You know, and
are we so downtrodden and suppressed? I mean, I know people have different walks in life. I get that. I respect
yeah.
that. And I don't want to see anybody blind, but this is an awesome country. Try doing that in Venezuela or China. You'll
Yeah.
get do that in Russia. How did that go for Brittany Griner? That's all a
Yeah.
different scenario, but I'm just saying
Yeah. Yeah.
there's a parallel there. There's a little bit of crossover. Right? I just,
Wow.
I mean, you're so blessed to play this great game of basketball in this great country. You want to
Yeah.
try it somewhere else? Go ahead, do it. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, because you're not supporting any specific candidate or anything like that. It's just the country, what it represents, the freedom. Yeah.
We just want to watch
I understand that.
basketball. I don't leave
Yeah.
politics out of sports. I just want to
Yeah.
watch the game. I'm sure you guys feel
Yeah.
the same way. I don't know. That's me.
No, I am the same way. Yeah, I just want to, even though I've got my own opinions on things, and Russell and I have kind of bantered back and forth because I'm very conservative and he's a little bit more on the left wing side.
A
But
little
the thing
bit.
is, a little bit, but the thing is, aren't you the same from the standpoint of when you want to watch sports, you just want to watch the sports?
I do think that there is a emotional element to what people believe in, and that sports and politics have been part of the scene since the original Greek Olympics,
No,
4,000
68.
years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but that's it. But and that's the other thing is like though, on your own time. And you want to get interviews and stuff like that. It's the same thing. Listen, I'm a messianic Jew. Okay, that means I'm Jewish, but I accepted Christ in '84, and I don't mind like after a game when guys want to thank Christ for all he's done. It's for them. That's fine. But when when you're actually in the game at the time, right? It's like I don't want, as strong as I believe what I believe, there's a time and a place for everything, right? And so I don't want to see things up disrupted. Let's put it that way. It's like when I'm working with an employer, I'm not going to proselytize to everybody all during my time when I'm getting paid from somebody else to just do my work. I
How
want to
about
be
when
the best
Sandy
worker.
Koufax took off Jewish holidays?
I actually, believe it or not, I actually do have a problem with that. And I mean, I love Sandy Koufax. I have to, I don't know, I kind of do go kind of back and forth on that.
Or what
It would have
about
been nice. Well,
Elijah
we'll
Wan
put it this
fasting
way.
during What about
Well, they could.
Elijah Wan fasting during Ramadan?
Um, well, no, I mean, because as long as you can still play your game, if you want
And
to
he
fast
did.
during Ramadan,
And
yeah.
he
I mean,
did.
there's
I don't know how he did it,
I don't
but
know how he did it either. Yeah.
and he played
No, but I'm
phenomenal
wondering, like, okay, with
basketball.
Sandy, why couldn't the Dodgers have like traded Sandy Koufax's day with another pitcher if it fell on if it fell on Yom Kippur,
They
right?
had to.
I mean, they could have done that.
They had to, but then
Yeah, actually, they did. They did have to. Yeah, no, that's true.
There's more Jewish holidays than too. It isn't just Yom Kippur. There's like a lot of other holidays. Thanks to the lunar calendar that we have,
Yeah.
stuff pops up all the time. You're like, what?
Well,
It's Purim.
Well, it's like basically what he's doing is asking for a day off from work, which that part of it I'm okay with, right? Because it's like, hey, my parents died in a car crash. I want to go to their funeral. I need to get a day off. I mean, I'm okay with that.
Jeez, I hope so. I hope so. So are you? Help me out. Are you saying you respected Sandy Koufax or you did not?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't. I kind of go both way. I do respect him. I don't know. I'm very torn on that. I really am. Just because
I always kind of said that's kind of. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was gonna say, I love him as a player. I love his beliefs. again, it was brought up Jewish, so we would always like stay home for Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah, and and all that. So I don't know. I do kind of flip flop a little bit on this. I got to admit, I'm not trying to be hypocritical. I just my emotions go both ways. Go ahead.
And theoretically or theologically, even Christians on Sundays are supposed to have a day of rest. Should Christians be playing sports on Sunday?
But that's
you guys haven't observed the Sabbath in 3,000 years. So
exactly. Well, that's the thing. Jesus came to he didn't come to abolish the law. He came to fulfill it. But a lot of the stuff, kind of
Steve Young was able to play as a Mormon.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, you can always go to Sunday services and all that. So anyway, we're kind of getting off track.
I know. It's interesting talk. It's interesting talk.
It is.
It's different.
Let's see here. Really quickly before we go to break. So Brock Purdy gets a raise from 870,000.
Speaking of right-wing religious guys,
Brock Purdy. He's Christian. Yeah. So 870,000 to 3.7 million over 4 years, and you got a performance bonus of 740,000. I mean, it's a lot of money, but it's so funny for him being in the position he's in.
It's still pocket change compared to other quarterbacks that are good. But you know what? It's great. Yeah. It's great for the Niners to take care of him. It's great for the Niners to take that off the pressure of Purdy, everyone saying, when are you going to get your money? When are you going to get your money? He can just focus on being a quarterback, which is
exactly
all he can do.
I think every year these guys should earn everyone should get like minimum wage, and then you get all these big bonuses for certain things.
But this is the other thing, is that the guy has almost a unthinkable amount of pressure on him for next year.
Oh yeah,
he doesn't win the Super Bowl, he's a failure. What other player?
You know what? I don't put that loss on him. I mean,
there are plenty of 49er fans that feel that way.
Really?
Plenty of 49er fans feel if the 49ers don't win the Super Bowl next year, that their season is a failure. And it's
I get it. Hey, Russell, hold that thought. We'll continue with that. Okay, here's our third trivia question. Talking baseball. What team was the first to retire a jersey? Give me the number of the jersey and for which player. All right. What was the first team what team was the first to retire a jersey? The number on the jersey and for which player? Stay with us. Sports Econ 101 will be right back with some closing comments. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. Last time for today, I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Russell Jackman and Mike McDowd. Our third trivia question: what baseball team, was the first to retire a jersey? Give me the number on the jersey and for which player.
I'll throw out Lou Gehrig for.
Yes. Very good.
I was gonna say. I knew it was Gehrig.
I can see it coming out of your mouth.
What about the number?
What about the number? I don't know.
20?
What number is he? What number?
13?
Go ahead.
13? Is he 13?
No.
20?
No. Okay. So way back when, before they had numbers, I think it was the commissioner said, from now on, you have to wear a number in the batting order, which is so stupid because you can't change your lineup. So what number was he? Number 4. Yeah. So he was cleanup, but Ruth was number 3. I can't remember the other guys. I mean, DiMaggio even was 5. So I wonder if they did that all the way up to
1 through 9.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, he started in 1936 on that. Okay, are you guys ready for our thoughts for the day? Here we go. All right. So working at a hospital is the worst. You can't call in sick. If you do, your boss will just tell you to come in and get checked out. Think about that.
Not the days of COVID. That all changed.
Well, that's true. Yeah, this would have been pre-COVID days. And instead of have a nice day, I think I'll start saying, have the day you deserve. Let karma sort things out. All right, audience, tune in next week to Sports Econ 101. We're going to be discussing sports topics from a business perspective and asking more sports trivia questions. And Mike, thanks for joining us. I know you're trudging through it. We appreciate it. You did great. Thanks for listening, audience. On behalf of our team, I'm your host, Edward Brown. We'll see you next week.
Adios.
So long.